Good evening. All right, it's Ras, and this battle report came from this weekend's Throne War. You'll see it's marked as a defeat up top. You'll notice that there is a difference of 1.7 billion lost power for the Defender, LND Sparrow. And for myself personally, there was 126.9 million lost power. Down here, you will see that the rest of my team lost 1.6 billion power, and the enemy servers reinforcements lost 97 million power. So we narrowly won that one. Narrowly. I got up to Silver Chest 1. My wife let me use her account for Throne War. I'm just better at fighting PvP than she is at that level. And she wanted the gems and the Blood of Ares and other things that SVS Rewards gives you. Just on this one attack, I got silver server war chest 1 and all the bronze chests. Now, you'll notice that the main general is a 5-star Elise, and the assistant general is Suchet. I do not have those generals. I did not send the lead attack. I did not start the rally. I joined the rally. So, the leader of the rally was a K-40 with 9 billion power, true heck yes. And he has that T-15 ground march. You'll see he sent almost 2 million T-15s. And he sends less than 200,000 T-14 ground troops. And then he sends 1.3 million T-13 ground troops. And then he sends 600,000 T-12 ground troops. And then he sends 10,000 T-11s and 1,000 on down. Okay. His buffs: 2576 ground attack, 2521 ground defense, and 2551 ground HP. Now look at the buffs he's sending that against. Take a minute to look at LND Sparrow's buffs. This is important because it's a mixed rally and it won. And I'm about to show you the amount of kills that every range march got. And I'm about to go over the buffs and size of everybody in the rally. You are big enough now where you can start to do this with some success. You're going to have to play with it. This is the first time I've seen it. It was explained to me, but here is the proof that it works. And it's not something I previously discussed with you. It is a new weapon in the arsenal. So, the debuff for range is just about 1,000. And the enemy that we're attacking, and the debuff for mount is 1,000. The debuff for ground is small. So, the rally leader, the person that called the rally, was true heck yes, and he sent ground. Before the rally happened, I was told to send range. So I did. I got 3.1 million kills with my T14s. Didn't have many T14s. I got 6.8 million kills with my T13s. Didn't have all that many T13s. I sent 1.4 million T12s. I got 15 plus million kills with them, almost 16 million kills with them. Okay. So I sent more T12s than I did T13 and T14 combined. When I'm able to march more, I'll send less T14s and T13s. I'm going to add T15 soon. Or my wife is. Okay. Now look at what she sent. Her Majesty is a K40 that doesn't have T15 unlocked yet. She sent too many T14s for my taste, but she got 27 million kills with them. She sent a bit too many T13s for my taste, but she got 20.6 million kills with them. And then her T12 layer, she sent well over a million, 1.2 million. She got 18.6 million kills with them. This is a significant amount of kills that these range troops are getting. Now here's another one. Becca has 18 billion power. And she has the layers of T15s. So she loads up on T15s here and kills over 43 million troops with the T15 layer alone. Sends a million T14, kills 21.6 million enemy troops with the T14s. Sends 500,000 T13s, kills over 11 million troops with them. Sends 500,000 T12s, kills over 8 million troops with them. I guess Becca is still learning how to use the T15 range. The guy that built that account is old, retired, and dealing with health problems, and he gifted it to Becca. So this is her first SVS using T15. I wouldn't recommend setting the march like that, but she just wanted to see what they would do. Now let's go to shoot first. He's a K41. He sent his range. You'll notice he loaded up on the T15s. He killed 35.8 million troops with them. He loaded up on the T13s. No, wait a minute, that's T14 range. He doesn't have T15 range yet. He killed 43 million troops with his T13. Now go down to the T12. He loaded up on them, 25 million kills. Okay, these layers are getting a lot of kills. He, heck yes, led with ground. So I had a lot of questions. How does this work? Well, it works because every single person in the rally has over an 1800 rally buff. Mine, or my wife's, is the smallest. My wife has an 1835 range attack rally buff. It might be 1900 now. Everybody else in the rally has over 2000 range buff. That's going to punch a hole in anything. Normally, it's a bad idea to rally different troop types because the lead rallier's buffs do not buff your range troops if you send a different troop type. But they're doing this because a rally with all the same type of troops is easier to beat with reinforcements. So, here's what happened on the defending end. There's the main person we hit. Nearly wiped out the T-14 ground layer. Got it about even on kills. Nearly wiped out the T-14 range layer. We beat it on kills by over 2-1. Wiped out the T-14 mounted. He should have had his mounted troops ghosted. But he saw ground coming. So one thing that happened, these opponents are good at looking at a rally, seeing what's coming and sending the appropriate reinforcements. But watching what's joining the rally is difficult. So, heck yes spends 10 seconds running the rally. They look at the rally, they're sending ground. And so they keep the mounted troops in there. It's a trick. You see the trick? Okay. Now, the T-14 siege layer, it took out 20,000 troops, almost. Didn't lose anything. T-13 ground layer, whooped our asses on kills. Killed 2.175 million of our troops. We only got 143,630 of its troops. We lost on that layer. The T-13 range layer kicked our asses. That T-13 mounted troop layer, we beat its ass. And on down, ground troop layers doing their job, range troop layers doing their job. We kicked the mounted troop layers' ass. The T-12 siege did its job, and on down. Same story. Now look at the reinforcements. The reinforcements had 2 premium ground generals. Look at the T-14 ground. They killed 1.7 million of ours. We kill 762,000 of theirs. Put some in the hospital, killed some. That counts. I go down to the next one. T-13 ground troops kicking our asses. But we got all of those horses. All of those horses. Let's go down and look at what we did to the lower tiers. The T1 ground layer, it killed 388,000 of our soldiers. We killed 1.5 million, almost 1.6 million of theirs. We won there. The T2 mounted troop layer killed 133,000 of our soldiers. We killed over 15 million T2 mounted troops. Now, those aren't a lot of points, but when there's 15 million of them, yeah, that's a big deal. Now, look at the T1 mounted troop layer. 256 million T1 mounted troops. Wiped them. We wiped them. With reinforcements, that 5-person rally wiped those T1s. Take a look at it. I'll put it in the center. Now, again, T1s don't give up very many points, but when there's 256 million of them and you wipe them, you have seen enough battle reports now to know that a T1 meat wall like that generally doesn't lose that many troops. We smoked them. That was a lot of healing for that player. A lot of SOL used. We hurt them bad. Barely won on points, but everybody got silver chest 1 or above. On our side, we're positive on points, and that player right there did not play for the rest of SVS. He went home and bubbled. We took him out of the game. Source of life for 256 million T1s is a lot. Like 11, 12,000 or more. Okay. So, note on why this worked. You saw what the opponent's layers did the most killing. It was their ground layers. And their range layers did okay too, but our range layers were able to wipe out all of the mounted troops because that big high buff ground march with the T-15 tier that tied up a lot of the reinforcements and everything else, and the range troops were able to penetrate deeper because of his size and because of his buffs. Now there's 5 players on that rally. 4 of them's K40 and my wife's K39. The lowest buff in that rally is, I'm going to say 1835 range attack. Those buffs carry over into the rally if you're using different types of troops. So you're hitting with your in-rally buffs. So if the rally leader sends that badass ground march, it will enable the ranged troops to penetrate. So there's the blueprint of how to do a small mixed march, which you will be the first one to T-15 troops. You will have the capability to do that. And a few of the others will not be far behind you. So for now to have that same effect, you'll just need more troops to join the rally. Because look at our total troops. Uh-oh, where'd it go? I had 2.2 million total troops. And the rest of them had 16.9 almost 16.9 million troops. So that is over 19 million troops that those 5 players sent. So to make this work, you've got to have the T-15s, you've got to have the buffs, and you've got to have the huge war hall where all those troops can get in there. And then, like I said, look at the points. We barely beat them by like 30 or 40 million points. It took 1.7 billion in losses, both sides did. But each individual one of our players spent less SOL getting their troops back than that one guy did getting all of his T1s back. And we killed a lot of T-14 troops doing that. I personally feel like if the rest of the people joining that rally had sent less T-15 and T-14 and more T-12, then we would have won more on points. But I'm not going to nitpick at this because all of these people are more experienced at PvP and doing these mixed rallies than I am. I was just invited to come help with the throne war. So there's that report. Now, okay, we'll use this one. This is where we attacked the enemy city of Throne and occupied it. This is a pretty straightforward rally blueprint. You can easily see what we sent there. with the buffs. I sent my ground troops because I was asked to. Over here, I just operated from the neck down. I did what they told me to. Heck sent a different ground march so that he could use the other one to rally people out. Becca sent mount. Shoot sent mount. Now, I don't know. I just don't use the horses for PvP much, but there were 6 players on that rally, and the range didn't do too well, but you need them there to tie things up and slow everything down. So it looks like the guard's another K40, and he doesn't have T15 unlocked yet. And the mount, it did okay, but the ground, the kills were spread out. So they're sending mixed rallies, and they know what they're doing. 3 of them have the T15 tier. Now let's look at the Defender. There was a ground march in there. So the rally leader sent a weaker ground march. Most of that was determined by what needed to park in there and stay. I pulled my ground and put my range march in there because I was asked to. But there's another example of a mixed rally working. So I hope that I kept this still enough for long enough where you could use it for reference. They went way too heavy on T14, so look at all the points we got. We wiped them. Now, here, we took back the throne on 1222. We pushed them out. Okay. Look at the points difference. We lost almost 600 million. They lost almost 800 million. These are narrow winning margins against K40s with T15 troops. And these are ground marches. Ground marches. This time there was no one around to re-end them, to reinforce them. So we all just sent mount. We sent a straight mount rally. There was nobody else on our server to reinforce them. We knew what they had in there, and we went for it quick. Wick would have loved this one. He loves to use the horses for PvP. I only did it because I was told to. I generally will not use the horse for PvP, but this time it worked wonders. Against ground in a building, it's great. And then Took some pretty heavy casualties. But now let's look at Chute's mount buff real quick. $2,667 mount buff. You're getting close to that. So this is the level you're about to be at. This is the level you're working to get at. And this is what the biggest and baddest alliance on my server is doing with that. So this is kind of a roadmap to help you play chess and think a few moves ahead and work backwards. They pig fucked us on those attacks lost. We tried to hit them again, and they put the right re-ins in there real quick. Then Chute hit them with his ground and zeroed them. Okay. They tried to hit the weakest link. That K40 tried to hit me. I'm the smallest one. I'm a 2.3 billion power K39. This is a 10 billion power K40. And they scouted me. I had my horses ghosted. I'd seen them solo hit with siege throughout the server war, so I knew that siege hit was coming. So I ghosted my high tier siege and brought my horses back in. This is gambling. If they send a range attack, then I'm toast. And I give up a lot of points. It has happened. Well, this time, they sent mount. A 2,377 mount buff. Now, my ground HP and defense is both over 1,300. My siege attack is over 1,400. And, well, this is my wife's account. My wife's range buffs are high enough that they're going to wipe them mounted troops up. But the mount debuff is 855. So that reduces it a bit. I mean, it's not the best mount debuff, but my ground troops, my wife's ground troops held up pretty well. My wife's mounted troops matched them. Range troops just got kills and didn't lose a single troop. You'll notice there's no siege from T14 down to T12. None. Gone. And all those layers are racking up kills. Now look at the reinforcements. They're ground troop reinforcements. A mounted march should wipe those out. Nope. All my range troops were in there. That mounted march wasn't going to get very far. Now, a lot of those ground layers did lose a lot. Same thing. Heck, put range troop reinforcements in there. Mixed reinforcements. But they have very high buffs. And the guard put ground troops in there. He did fairly well. All I needed was 3 re-ins. Now let's see what the attacker sent. Premium generals. Look at all those T-15 mounted troops. Boy, look at all those T-14 mounted troops. Heavy on the top end. Gave us up a lot of points. You see the pattern here? Just because those troops have the best buffs and they're more powerful doesn't mean it's a good idea to use them. And so I was told range hit's going to come next, pull your siege back in. I did, and he hits with siege. So I lost on points. So did my reinforcements, but not by much. That's actually not bad for a siege attack. Now let's look at that. Under UNT Pug next to Siege Machine, he's got 2,243 siege attack and 2,000 defense and HP. My wife has 1,482 siege attack and over 1,000 defense and HP. Usually the opponent would win a lot, but my wife's siege attack debuff is 1,121. Probably higher than that. It matches 50% of what the opponent is doing. So, didn't really matter much that all of my siege was in there, that all of her siege was in there. I mean, her siege layers got more kills than the enemy's siege did. They didn't get wiped. Nothing else engaged the enemy siege. Nothing. Hardly anything at all engaged the enemy siege. My wife's siege took it all out because of the debuff. So siege debuff is very important. And then we thought a range hit was coming and kept the horses ghosted. Ground would have took care of it, but that's enough for now. I've been doing this video for 30 minutes. I hope that helped. I felt like it was a blueprint, a roadmap for where you're trying to get and will be soon, and how that's being used to success in Throne Wars. I truly hope that helps, and thank you for watching.